Hello, everyone, and welcome to the So Free and Single with Z podcast. I'm your girl, Dr. Z, and I am so excited to be back with you for season 2. And this is our second episode of the season. So we're at episode 12. Man, I am excited about today. Yo, if you tuned in last week, it was bananas. We had a great show, a lot of great comments, a lot of great participation. So I'm so excited about this week. I'm excited about everyone joining in the conversation. It's going to get good. So I've always start off this show by one saying, hey, we are not professionals. We are not people who have these degrees in psychology and all of such. We are just some single folks on here talking about single things. So I'm glad to have you all join in and be a part of this. Please feel free to jump in the comments, ask questions, just tell us what you're thinking. We'll be glad to entertain that today. So I always start off with a little known dating fact, okay? A little known dating fact. So this is what I read this time. It says psychologists at the University of Pennsylvania studied data from over 10,000 speed daters and found that most people make a decision regarding a person's attraction within 3 seconds of meeting. Whoa, 3 seconds? Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I believe, at least from what I've heard, I don't know, I'm not a dude, but that they do pretty much know right away, like if they're kind of wanting somebody. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to hear it from a guy more male perspective than me because yeah, 3 seconds is quick, but I mean, I don't know. I guess I met people that I've pretty quickly just said, you know what, that there's somebody that I could meet and somebody that I could be with. So we're about to see, because that segues us into our topic for tonight. And our topic for tonight is like, is that you, babe? We are talking about love at first sight. Is it a thing? Is it a thing? I don't know. Could be. Well, you're probably wondering right now, like, why on earth do I have a seat next to me? Like, Xandra, you ain't cleaned up before you started? Of course I did. So today, one of my guests are going to be live in the studio with me. So it is about to be a treat. But I'm about to bring on my guest today so you all can see and hear different perspectives on love at first sight. So again, hop in the comments, tell us what you think. So let's bring on my people. Well, hello, Miss Cantra. Hello, Gregory.
Hello.
How y'all doing today? How y'all feeling?
All right.
I can't complain. How you doing?
I am amazing, as always. I am just happy that I am here another day to, do what I do.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, man, we got a topic for y'all today. We're talking about love at first sight. So, is that a thing? All right. So, I want to jump right into the topic today, and I want to hear y'all's perspective. Mm-hmm. Like, do you believe that there's a such thing as love at first sight? Let's hear it.
Myself, I don't subscribe to the notion of love at first sight, because my thing is, for me, love is too big a deal for me to claim to have it at first sight. I do believe that I can have a high level of attraction for somebody at first sight. I even believe, Z, that I can have a high level of chemistry with you immediately, like from the very first conversation, the very first hello, But I also believe that some of that is oftentimes based on my excitement, that maybe I find you very, very attractive. So therefore, it becomes the conversation becomes easier now because I want it to, and I found that the more that a person is willing, then the more that you believe that this is natural. when it's more that you're just willing. You're willing to let certain things go. You're willing to be open. You're willing to be honest. You're willing to do a lot of things you wouldn't do naturally because you want this thing to work, because you want your success with this person to match your attraction to this person.
Right.
I gotta bring Layla's comment on the screen because Layla was actually supposed to be our guest today, and she is not feeling well. But I just want to shout out to you for jumping it on the live, no matter what, even though you're ill. So yeah, she gonna talk mess, and I love it. She said, "There you go." I don't subscribe. I love it. I love it. I love it. So okay, all right. So Kendra, what do you think about that?
I would have to agree. I'm not sure that I could honestly say that love at first sight, like I'm in love with this individual. But I can say that anything's possible. Just because I haven't experienced it doesn't mean it can't happen. So I think also it comes in a notion of how open your heart is with vulnerability, and what God has for you is for you. So you can't deny what's for you. So I mean, I can't say that I can go into saying that that is love at first sight for me, but anything's possible, I think.
Okay. All right. So Gregory's like, nah, I just and Kent was like, well, maybe. Okay. So what to say, like when I meet somebody, I meet them and I'm like, man, like you said, that strong attraction is there. And maybe I don't know right there in that moment
Mhm,
that I love this person like that.
mhm,
But if I start, what if I'm reflecting back and I'm like, okay, time has gone by and
mhm.
I realize that I've loved this person from the first moment that I set eyes on them. You think that's possible?
Absolutely. I think so. And I think that's where I was going with anything's possible. Just like you described, it's never happened to me, but I can't say that it won't happen or can't happen. Um, Also for me, when you say love at first sight, you have to know the difference between love and lust, because you can also have a strong um, feeling of attraction or lust for a person, and we can kind of get them intertwined with love.
Mhm.
What you think about that, Gregory?
She testified. I agree with you, sister, because I always say lust looks like love to its time sacrifice. At the end of the day, I think that high level of attraction will lead us sometime to, again, we want this thing to go in our favor, and it may be going in our favor. And to your point, Z, this might actually be the one that is for me, right? But when I use the word love, that's why I'm like, there's a distinction there, because when I love you, I need to be able to tell you why. If I'm
Mm,
saying love at first sight, then I can't. There's no weight on
mm,
this. I'm just saying I love. Well, what do you love? How they look? I love how you look. I love how this is going. But if I say I love you, then as a man, I'm saying I'm willing to die for you if I
mm,
love you. Right? I can't say that if I just met you. And I found that a lot of times when you hear uh, the elders talk about, yeah, I knew from the first time I laid eyes on her. That's in hindsight is 2020.
mm.
Would you have said that then? It's easy to say 40 years later. You know what I'm saying? Again, I do believe in a strong level of chemistry, and I would even say a compatibility when I first meet you. Like, I might notice that you have the same values as I do. You love the same things that I love. You generally have the same opinion that I have on major issues, which might make me feel close to you, right? So I'm never gonna knock that closeness. It's just when you say love, I'm like, I can't call that love.
Okay. So So let me share something, okay? So this is why this topic is kind of near and dear to me, and like I would love to hear other people's perspectives on it. So before my grandmother passed, we were able to kind of, you know, we were doing like, especially during COVID, a lot of family Zooms and finding out, just talking to her. So I had this bright idea of like, hey, let's get some stories from my grandmother, so that we have these things, which is great because my grandmother passed last year. So now I have these stories. So I asked her, I said, Grandma, tell me about when you and Grandpa met. And so it was great. She told this story in such detail from what she had on to what he had on. And this was her story. The synopsis of her story was on that very first date, he told her, I'm going to marry you. And a couple months later, they went on and got married and they stayed together till death did them part. So, I mean, first of all, I was like totally charged by that story. Like, man, like tearful about it when she was telling in such detail because she remembers every moment and how they clicked like just then. So now I'm saying to myself, that's probably what opened up the idea to me that it's very possible, that people could love each other or I mean, what would you say that is, or how would you categorize that? I mean, just that synopsis of their story. How would you categorize that?
I can have commitment to you and not love you.
What's that?
I can have commitment to you and not love you.
Mm.
Right. And I think that, again, this is no knock to the story because I've heard stories the same.
Mm-hmm.
I could meet you, have a high level of attraction, have a high level of chemistry with you, and desire for this to go somewhere, right? Truly, based upon this one conversation. I don't equate that to be love. I don't, because once we're in a relationship or in a marriage, I should say, what we have is so much bigger than that moment when we met, when we had an attraction for one another, right? I equate like in the Greek, the word is pragma, which means a long lasting love, right? That's what people have within marriage. You don't have that when I first meet you, right? You may desire for us to have that one day, right? And you may really like me and vice versa. And we feel really close. But we have not built anything yet together. That is why I don't call that love. Because I feel like love, while yes, I have to give you my love and you have to give me your love, it's not about earning it. It's a decision that I make, right? But it's also about, if we have a loving relationship, we have to build this thing and we have to build a love together that can stand the test of time. What we have in this moment is not that.
Okay. Cancer, what you thinking?
I have to agree. I have to totally agree. Because if you think about love, it's a overtime buildup. Like you said earlier, you have to say why I love you, or if you're able to say why I love you. We're just meeting and I feel this urge to just draw into you. There's something there, but we don't know what it is until we, over time with getting to know each other, we can build that and we can understand what that thing was. We couldn't call it love because we didn't know what it was, but we knew it was something there that was drawing us closer together and keeping us wanting to be more engaged and seeking it through.
Okay.
Look, what, I'll say this too, Z. What about the whole falling in love?
Oh, we talked about that last season, didn't we? Woo!
We did.
Yeah.
I think that love at first sight more so mirrors that as opposed to true love. Because the first thing people say when they get divorced is what? We fell out of love.
We fell out.
That means that I feel different about you now. Right? It doesn't mean that I don't love you.
Right.
It means I feel different about you because divorced people generally love each other. They
Right.
can't be together no more for whatever the reason is. I would dare to say within a marriage, you can fall in and out of love, right? Depending upon the season that you're in, because stuff happens. And I'm not saying stuff like trifles. I mean stuff like just
Right.
season
Right.
change, and you don't feel as close in this season. Like a man oftentimes might not feel as in love with his wife while she pregnant sometimes.
Mm.
It's just because during those months of pregnancy, she don't like you sometimes.
I
And
was
she
like, be careful. I was like, be careful, son. Be careful.
I'm trying to be careful. I'm saying it's just that because of you're not getting the attention anymore. And then even when the baby's born, right? Well, like what the man supposed to do when he want the breast and the baby on it? You know what I'm saying? He he's not getting the, the nurture
here.
that he wants, that he needs, because it's going to the baby for the first year. So he
you
don't
fall
feel
out
as
of love
close to
because
his wife.
Right. Oh yeah, we got questions here.
you fall out of love because of that.
I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying there may be times within a marriage where you don't feel the same about your relationship because you're not getting out of what you need.
Right.
That's just natural. I mean,
Right.
well, let's take the baby off the table. Let's take the loss of a job.
Okay.
And this man is not being the same man he would normally be.
Okay.
So therefore, he's not pouring into his wife
Right.
like he would normally do because he don't feel the same by himself, right? So that his wife, it's gonna be hard for her. She a woman wants to encourage, and she will, but if he does not get to a point where he's snaps back, she's gonna feel different. She still loves him, but her emotions is what I'm saying. Because being in love about your emotions, not so much your heart, it's your emotions. It's here. And if this starts to feel different, how I respond to you will become different. Now we can still say no all day long, but this is true, because a lot of time people either break up or divorce in those moments or be on the verge of it when it's not that you don't love that person. Something has happened that has changed one of us. So now when you start to feel really, really different, it is hard for you to act the same when you feel different.
Okay, so wait. So since we here, let's go there. Like, so are we basing love on a feeling?
Right.
Because I was always taught, one, love is a choice. To love is a choice. So if I base it on a feeling, you're right. I'm gonna fall in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
But if I'm choosing to love someone, even when I'm not feeling like it, I'm still in love with you.
Right.
And I just may not we want to be bothered with you today. I may not like you.
Yes.
But
I could love you and not be in love with you. Because
Right.
again,
yeah.
that's why I said a divorced couple love each other. They ain't in love because their feelings change. Your feelings can change in a healthy marriage because
Right.
something might happen. So I'm not saying that love and in love are the same thing, because they're not.
Right.
I'm saying that falling in love about your feelings, and
So
you feel different, you're gonna feel like. And I'm not saying today I woke up like, no, I'm talking about something happened in this season of life where something major happened. Where I'm not feeling myself. I'm not feeling a lot of things, which shows up in my marriage, in my relationship. Doesn't make it right, but it happens.
Right.
Now, commitment and true love is about still honoring the fact that I'm in this union with you, and being committed. But my feelings something else. That still means I love you, but I could love you and still not be the same in terms of I ain't as lovey-dovey in this season of life for whatever reason. I'm not feeling like I'm in love, but I love you.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Let's take a little break and come back because I got another follow up for that. All right. Let's take a quick 38-second break and come right on back. All right, welcome back. We are back to the So Free and Single with Z podcast. We just took a quick commercial break there, but we are talking about Is That You Bae? And we're talking about love at first sight. Is it a thing or is it not a thing? So we were just getting into it. It was getting real good here because we talking about being in and out of love with people. We don't like them. We can't share with the baby. All kind of stuff was happening. So I want to kind of go back to what we were just talking about. Love being a choice or love being emotion based. So with that being said, if we do believe, like we believe that love is a choice, can I not choose to love somebody when I first meet them? Can I say, you know what? This person is it. This is who I want to give my love to.
Yes, I think that you can choose that, but how do you know that's where you're at? You're choosing to do that because you're wanting to take this journey with that person. But I can't say that you are truly in love with that person at that very moment. You know that this is the person you want to take this journey with, but can you honestly say, depending on your definition of love too, is this truly I'm in love with this person?
Okay. What you think, sir?
I agree with you. I do. And I think you can choose to say you love this person, but what you're going to do when it's time to prove it and what you're going to stand on, ain't no meat on this bone. So it's like when the wind and the waves of life come, what you're going to stand on when you have not developed love with this person. You've not built love with this person. You can say all day long, but at the end of the day, to your point, yeah, love is a choice, but choice has to be based on things that I can see to make my decision valid for me, right? I love you because, right? Like I should be able to tell you what you do for me. I don't mean like what you do for me in terms of with your hands. No, what does in my life, your presence does this for me.
What is it?
That's love. I got to tell you that. I cannot tell you that when I meet you. I don't know.
So I like the comment that Lena just made. Did you sit and talk to them for about 12 hours? Well, maybe I did. We sat there and we talked for hours and hours and hours. And it was like, man, I love this person already. Like, I don't know. You think that's possible?
Again, it's about your definition of love. So, I mean, if you feel the need, if you feel that you're at that moment, you're in love with this person, hey, who is anybody to tell you you're not?
Right. I mean, I guess, and I'm throwing these out there because, just hearing different perspectives or different ways. I'm always going to play, the adversary, over here. So, yeah, it's, if I sit there for hours and I have this conversation, and like Lena says, he touched your soul in that conversation. Absolutely. Like everything that before I said it, everything that I wanted, he was giving it to me. And he was telling me, like, when he described him, he described the person I was looking for. When he described, you know, what our life would look like, he described a life that I was looking for. And I'm like, man, I can tell that I already love this person. I mean, could that be, well, is that a pro, a con to that? What would you say? Is that a positive, a negative, or am I just caught up?
I wouldn't. Well, I think that it's very, very possible for a person to be caught up in their own desire that we ignore rationale. I mean, like at the end of the day, love is rooted in knowledge, not so much sight. You know, and I think even scripture talks about, you know, um, love being rooted in knowledge, you know, that your grace may abound. So I think that when we think about again, like what love is and what love isn't, it kind of puts this whole thing into context about, okay, love at first sight. I'm probably caught up in my fantasy. Like a lot of, I don't mean to generalize, but a lot of women have been thinking about their wedding their entire life, right? You know, and they have had this notion of wanting to fall in love all their life. That when they meet a decent guy, well, I'll say more than decent, a good man, right, that they can click with, then they full forward ahead, right? And I'm not saying that there are not some men who do that, but it's just not generally in a man's nature to do that. But I think for anyone who does, the detriment is that you may move so quickly that you're in a whole relationship and don't know the person's middle name because you have based all of this on, girl, we talked on the phone for 4 hours. That's easy. When you don't know a person, that's very because I mean that you don't know anything about them. So
Right.
everything is new. And I'm a firm believer that you need to see a person in every season. I just really am. Now I don't literally mean outside winter, spring, summer, fall.
Right.
I
Right.
mean of their life. I need to see how you handle anger. I need to see how you handle when money is tight. I need to see how you are around people. I need to see how you treat the waitress that you don't know. Right? I need to see how you handle the homeless person that you don't know. I need to see your heart before I give you mine. So that's why I it's never going to be love at first sight for me because I don't have the knowledge to support an I love you decision. I don't have the knowledge to be able to stand on I really love you. I really like you. I really find you attractive. I really want to see where this goes. I really want to see you again and again. I really love being in your presence. I like how being in your presence makes me feel. But none of those things are love. It is exactly what it is.
So, okay, I like this comment. This is hilarious. Dale said he knew after our first conversation, but I was like, hell no. And you know what? We bring up that what if one person is like, hey, you are it, and the other person like, yeah, bro, I don't know. You're right. Like, how does that work? Because somebody is like fully vested immediately, and then they're like, yeah, I'm not feeling the same. I mean, how does that work? I mean, I would say, can that work? But I know that they're together, so so it works. But how does that work?
Well, for me, when you were saying, if you can fall in love and do all the things, well, at that very moment, you don't know if he snores all night and keep you up all night. You don't know if he he chews with his mouth open. Those are the things that are deal breakers, you know. So are
but
you
I love him. But I love him.
when he hits those deal breakers, that's for me. Like, are you still in love after you see the other side of it? So you can see the flowers and the heart that at that very moment, but when you see that other side, again, you know, I want to see you in all seasons. Are you still in love?
Well, I think if I choose to love this person, I'm choosing to love them in their seasons, in all these different seasons. Hey, but yeah, now I do believe in any situation there are things that can be broken. You got a nice man corner over here. There are things that can be broken. And like you said, like when people divorce, a lot of times they still love each other. They just know we can't be together now. We don't go together no more. you know. But if we had this fixed, we would still be together. And I knew that from the beginning. So I don't know. So yeah, I guess, you know, what would be let's talk about the pros and cons, okay? Is there a benefit to me saying that I know right away that I love somebody? Is there any benefit to that?
I mean, if
No, you
y'all
got a nice story to tell.
What was that?
You got a nice story to tell. I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
I
It
mean,
makes
but
for a
my
great
thing
story.
is, infatuation can deceive, but love discerns. And even the scripture says that love is patient. So if love is patient, then that means that love takes time to build. Now, I'm not when I say time, people hear the word time and assume you're talking about years. No, I ain't talking about that. I'm just saying time beyond this moment is what I'm saying. And I think that's what sometimes people are so frustrated nowadays that they don't realize that love is action oriented, not so much emotion driven. And I think we live in an emotion driven society where everyone needs how they feel to be validated. And if it's not, it's the problem. That's why when someone comes around and says something different than most people, it's like, uh, but they may be actually correct. It just goes against how you feel. But at the end of the day, I I was a social science major, so I like to be able to have things to stand on and support said whatever. And definitely with love, like take your emotions out of this thing
Yeah.
because you're gonna feel different a lot
yeah,
in a good marriage.
Right.
That's why I said that in love thing, it fluctuates because depending upon how you feel, and so I think that yeah, you can meet and we had a long conversation, lovely date. The ambiance was right. You saw I had on my Steve Harvey 3-piece.
No.
You had on your wrap skirt. You understand? You you had on the
The
braids, and you understand. You was looking fly and everything,
Oh my
smelling
god.
good. Had on your white diamonds,
No, no, I
oh,
and
okay.
everything was right. But I think that because we have such a need, even men sometimes, to I need this to be the one. And I think the older that we get, the easier it becomes to fall into that because you really want something to work.
Okay. Okay. So there's a question that came in. Can your actions be driven by your emotions?
Absolutely.
And and I believe so because I mean, even if we're thinking about just the scenario with the claim of love at first sight, my action or me saying that I choose to love this person could be because they have pulled on my emotions in such a way. Like this person, they're checking all the boxes, as we say, not throwing up the red flags, okay? And yet here I am. I'm like, they're killing me in the comments. I'm like, you know what? I'm choosing this. This is what I choose, like because I was emotional about it. What do y'all think?
well, women are emotional beings anyway. So sometimes that gets us in trouble all the way. I think that yes, I do believe your emotions can drive you into an action, but um, you got to be careful with that, even, because you know things may come up along the way and you're like, yo, I didn't see that, and now your emotions changed about it because you know how we do, like, oh, this is what you own now, but this has been him from the day one. We just didn't get to see that part. So if we base it off that one visit and that now we are head over heels, you can be setting yourself up for failure on that.
Yeah. Okay. And scripture says that the heart is deceitfully wicked, right? And so that speaks to the fact that if our heart is deceitful and wicked, that speaks to how it's easy to manipulate your heart. Because what you pray to God for and what the devil can manipulate can be the same thing. Your prayer could your desire rather could be manipulated, right? Even though you're praying to God for God to send you someone, if you're not careful and you're led by that, and you start to be emotionally driven, then your decisions will be based upon what? How you feel. When you make emotional decisions, they will always be to your detriment, because emotional decisions are based upon what? How I feel in this moment. And your feelings will change in the next moment. That's why, to your point earlier, love cannot be based on a feeling. No, it can't. Love got to be based on a decision that you make that is rooted in something. And because our hearts can easily be pulled on, that is why we cannot haphazardly talk about I love everybody so quick. Because at the end of the day, once we get in the habit of doing that, everybody that you meet, you will start to do that when you have a level of connection with that person. That's why you got sometimes these people, their friends are like, girl, said the last time, my old boy. And the last time, my old boy. I thought they was the one. I thought she was the one. Because you want to be so badly loved that I think sometimes it speaks more so to a deficiency within self. What I want you to do for me, what I have not done for myself. So when I meet somebody new and we have a connection, I need this to be it. I need to feel validated in this moment.
Ooh.
That was nice.
Also, the need for it to just be it. And I will say that that's real, especially as you start to age. like you're tired of these dating streets because everybody out here, people are deceitful, people are not their authentic selves. And granted, we know that people are gonna put on a little bit, you're gonna put on your best foot forward when you meet somebody, but I mean, people are like going off like that ain't even you at all. And you're right. They got on their Steve Harvey suit and their best cologne and their perfume, and they doing that. But you know what? That's the only suit they own. And that's the last spray of perfume or cologne they got in the bottle. That was it. Or it was just the alls anyway. So yeah, it's tough as you get older because you ready. You're like, man, if I wait too much longer, I'm gonna be one of them elderly weddings, which ain't bad, but so yeah, like I guess that goes to where we were talking about pros and cons. We got out of pros was like it makes for a nice story, okay, which can't be it. We all know that can't be it. So, and we've kind of hit those a little bit. The cons of saying, man, I know this is him or this is her. What are the cons?
The cons of saying that this is my person?
Yeah, like, right. Hey, today, I already know.
Well, again, just like I said a while ago, you hadn't seen the other side of it. You just see the happiness, the joy he brought you at that very moment. And you haven't got to see, is he responsible with money? Is he, reckless with his mouth? How he protects you. You don't get to see that part because you are basing it on this 4-hour, 12-hour, whatever conversation that you had at that very moment.
But he told me that he was cool.
He used his mouth, but he didn't show you with his actions. Yeah.
And now I have to recant my statement because I done ran out and told everybody, girl, he this, or girl, she that. And only to realize, oh man, I made a mistake. And
Right.
that's and that a habit of doing that, it makes you look bad in these dating streets, right? Because I mean, when you're seen with a whole bunch of folk,
Yeah.
it makes you look bad, whether you're a man or a woman. I look at that personally, and there ain't no judgment. It just is what it is. You know, I don't want you handling me like that. I don't even like if a young lady is all that with me at first. I don't care how whatever you think I am, hold it to yourself. Because if you come across too much, in my head, I'm like, you have a habit of doing that. Because I'm like, I haven't even shown you but a first date. Which I mean, you know, I mean it's gonna be nice, but nothing to make you think, oh my God, let's get married tomorrow. No, let's pump the brakes. I don't want to be with anybody that's a compulsive thinker. That doesn't work for me. You know, I don't want to be with anybody that you're just in love with love. So I am just the next contestant on Love is Blind. And so we're gonna see how long I ride this wave with you until you realize, well, maybe he's nice, but he said this today. I don't like that. Because if you fall in love quick or claim to love me quick, you'll fall out of love quick too. Because as soon as I say something you don't like, or it's just a bad day for me, oh, he tripping. I'm just having a bad day. You proven to me that you might not be emotionally stable, right? You know, or emotionally intelligent, because again, you are making these decisions based upon what? Fantasy? Because again, if you're already in love with love, excuse me, before I come along, this is how I think that people end up in these whirlwind romances and end up getting really, really hurt. Because you're saying, well, in the very beginning they were this, so I don't know why 6 months now from now, I don't know why we're at this point now when you don't realize a 6-month relationship, but 5 of them months you done spent trying to get back to date one. It's been bad the whole time, but your mind was on date number one and saying that we in love or whatever. So in your head, this has to be right, and you've ignored the last 5 months that showed you this is a jerk.
Yeah. Okay, let's. This is good. I got some more for you. Let's take another quick break here. A 29-second break here.
You've met Dr. Z. Now let's meet Xandra. Go to www.xandraweb.com and pick up your copy of When the Heart Cries or a copy of When Church Girls Cheat, which is also available on Audible. Treat yourself.
All right, we are back to the So Free and Single with Z podcast, and we are talking about love at first sight. Okay, and is this a thing or not? Now, the theme that we've had going on here is sounding real nottish. That is a thing, but you know, I mean, I'm loving to hearing these perspectives here, and that's coming from both the male and the female perspective. Like we don't know in those first moments. Even though I gotta tell y'all, hey, not too much on my granny and grandpa.
we love them. We love them.
Yeah, but you know, just kind of thinking about um that again, that seeing someone, meeting someone, even having that conversation with them that could go on all hours. I've heard people say things like, man, we met up or whatever, and we talked all the way to the morning, and I just knew right then that was my person. But how do you vet that? How do you vet it? Like, how do you say for sure, like, I know? Or could it just be the fact that, like, because I've said that no matter what, I'm going to stick this out because of what I the decision I made that first date. I mean, is that so bad?
I will have to say, I had a similar experience happen to me. And I met this gentleman, and we had a vibe. Everything was awesome. And, couple days, I've known him 24 hours at this point, and he's asking me for my ring size and when we gonna get married. And I'm like, bruh, I don't even know your last name, let alone your first name. I can barely remember your first name. So, and he was so like, everything had to be right now, which pumped a little fear in my heart because I'm like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
need a green card.
Really? I don't move. Just me personally, I don't move that quickly anyways. But that to me, it bothered me because now I feel pressured into something. And to your point, I think it has to be a mutual progression. It can't be one-sided because now you're going to get that resistance. And what he do? He fell off. Like, I never talked to him again after that 7 days. We was going to get married Sunday, but I haven't heard from him since Monday. So, I mean, it's one of those things, like, it has to be a mutual connection, a mutual understanding. Like, this is the journey I want to take with you, period. So,
yeah, I think feelings can be foolish if not guarded. And even scripture says to guard your heart, for it's the wellspring of life. And I think that is so important because, like I said previously, if I know what I desire and I allow this thing to be manipulated, then I might find myself in a compromising position because I didn't guard my heart, right? On an immediate meeting, and honestly, even that first week, right? I say this all the time, see that dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin levels are up because of how I feel. I feel. And studies have proven that when those levels are high, you can make yourself actually believe some things that never happened. Or you can have an addiction to what your body makes naturally because of how you feel. A lot of millennials have dangerous behavior based upon those levels being up, based upon dangerous behaviors, and they study that. My point is just that when you feel a certain type of way, you don't want that feeling to go anywhere sometimes. So sometimes we'll do anything to hold on to it, even if that means I'll stay in a bad situation because I have no other options. And that's sometimes what people do, is that I'll stay here and, well, no, this is it, because I do feel X, Y, and Z. They are nice and talk on the phone a lot of X, Y, and Z, and it may be good, right? May be very good. Excuse me. But have you taken the time to have something to stand on that I'm giving myself to this person for a lifetime? Am I ready to say that based on a week or based upon 2 weeks? And I think that if we let rationale go out the window, and if we equate love to being a chemical reaction, then we have mismanaged love, and we have mismanaged this moment, and we're mismanaging our life because we're being irresponsible, and we are allowing our desire to move us into a place that just is not logical.
Okay. So let me ask this. If, I heard one thing I heard, and I think Cantor, you were kind of touching on this about mutual connection. So what if both people in a situation are like, boom, I think I'm in love, and that person, you know what? I think I'm in love too.
Go for it. Who's to say that it can't happen? And again, I not saying it cannot. It's not possible. Like I said, if you haven't been in that position, you can't say yay or nay. But if both of them is feeling that way, hey, test the waters and see what happens.
Right. Okay. Because I mean, I might meet you and be like, you know, after our 12-hour conversations, yeah. Because now we brought the sun up, and and we still talking, and we're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. I think you're everything I want, and he say the same thing. I think you're everything I want. Let's go. Let's rock this till the wheels fall off.
Let's go.
I mean, are we good or are we still not good?
I think you're good.
Well, I'll say this on the caveat. We can both feel the same way. But what is not debatable is that I don't know how to love you. I just met you. I don't know what you need. I don't know what you desire. I don't know how you respond or what you accept. So if I say I love you, the question now is, well, how do I love on you if I have no idea how you receive love, how you give love? So I can say it all day long, and I can express however I feel in this moment, but I don't know how to love you because that takes time to learn how to love you. So,
but I told you my love language.
Right.
Even telling me your love language.
Yeah.
So I'm saying this real quick. Even telling me your love language doesn't tell me how to love you in every moment. Because love is a specific thing at a specific time for a specific purpose. What I mean is, you might tell me today, Z, that my love language is words of affirmation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might come home after a long day, right, and you just like it's just out of you, exhausted. Your feet hurt, your back hurt. You're like, oh, babe, oh my God, this is the, and I say to you, Z, no, you can make it. Don't worry about it. They're gonna help you. Because what you need is physical touch. You need my embrace. You need me to hug you and make this moment okay. Me telling you everything gonna be all right is almost insensitive because I can see on you that you're drained. Now, I'm not saying it's not nice. I'm saying just telling you everything gonna be all right doesn't always solve the moment. Even though her love language was the affirmation, you need me to embrace you. You need to feel close to me right now in this moment, not to be telling you something. My point is just that your love language is not all what you need. Right. You need other things sometimes. That's my point. So even knowing that it's words of affirmation doesn't tell me how to love you in your life. I have to observe you to know what you need and when you need it. I have to know when does she need her love language, when does she need to be held, when does she need me to buy her something. What does she need? If I ain't in this moment with you, then I ain't loving on you. I love you, yes, but to love on a person is different. And acts of love require knowledge of the person. I don't have this now. God, I don't know you.
Well, now, if that's your best words of affirmation, we already got a problem. You all right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right. That better not be your best. I mean,
and it better not. But what if it is, and that's who I am? But you don't know that. Right. I think telling you everything will be all right is words of affirmation, and it's not.
But what I would say to piggy off of the statement that brought us here was, if you're both on the same page, then you're willing to learn these things. Everything don't have to happen at that moment, but as we are embarking on this journey together, it's a mutual thing. Then now time is going to progress, and I'm going to learn you, you're going to learn me. I think that initial was that we're both on the same playing field and we're both headed in the same direction.
But does that mean I'm going to learn you? Just because we feel the same way doesn't mean that either one of us understand the concept of we got to get beyond this moment and be real. And a lot of people that really want to be loved so quickly, they don't realize, yo, this is okay, but we on a fantasy that will end, and real life coming tomorrow. So are you ready to put your hands up? Don't look back. It takes work. Just because we say we feel the same way, but do you know the work it takes? That's my thing. And if you're relying on fantasy, chances are you might not realize, baby, it takes some work to make. I don't care how much we love each other, even getting to that point of real love, it take a whole lot more than love to make this thing work. And if we're already from day one on cloud nine and think this is the end all be all, we doomed because this is only going to last in the beginning. You are not going to feel like that every day. You're just not.
And I think as 40 plus, I'm not sure how old you are, but
I'm 25.
Okay.
Listen,
I'm 45.
I was like, listen.
Well, the 40 plus folk understand that it's not going to be flowers every day. We've lived long enough to understand that. But I think that this is where the problem lies, and I can only speak for myself when it comes to dating. You may have a person, you get to know each other or whatever, but it's the progression. So when you have somebody that wants to meet that same energy, even at the beginning, you're 2 steps ahead. You know what I'm saying? In the process, because you have 2 people wanting to do the same thing. Versus, I want it to be organic, but you know where you're at in the time of life and you're standing. You want to move a little forward. You know what I'm saying? We can do this song and dance all day long, but when you have 2 people that are in one mind about where we're going in this relationship.
Yeah, and I think, and I really do see, I see all sides here. I'm listening to both of you all, and I'm also playing the role of someone else coming in, saying, pushing the envelope the other way, because I can see it. I've always had the philosophy that, that it's possible. I think it's very rare, but possible. I think it's extremely rare. And I think that came, and even that possibility of, like the story I shared about my grandparents, on that first date, like, man, I'm gonna marry you. And then for them to do that, like that's exactly what they did. A couple months later, they went ahead and made that happen. And I know, living life with them, because I grew up very close to my grandparents, that it wasn't always pretty. It wasn't always pretty. There was a lot of things that they had to overcome. And then an immigrant family coming to, the United States, and 6 children, there was a lot of things that they had to overcome. But I went back to say, they made a choice on that very first date that it's you. We're going to figure it out. It's you. And even when very bad things came up in the relationship, it was still you. And so I do feel like it could be that situation where, like, man, I chose to love this person from day one, and that person chose to love me. And we just said, take it to the moon. Even when you were doing those things that I were just not, like, those habits that I like you said, snoring, and and I think you brought up, hey,
with your mouth open.
Yeah. Oh Lord, wait, that's a deal breaker. I'm sorry, y'all. Anybody that knows me, hey, at that point we don't go together no more. But things like that, or when children get in the picture, or things like that, all could take away my like for you at this moment.
Right.
But the choice that I made to love you is still there. So And I'm not even talking about those things that are toxic. Some things are just absolutely extremely toxic, and nobody should subject themselves to those things. But again, I think there's a lot to be said about someone who makes a choice on day one. But also there's a lot to be said about being careful that your emotions are not ruling you.
Right.
All right. So let's get some final thoughts here. We didn't roll down the time and got us okay. What's our final thoughts for today?
Ladies first. I'm a gentleman.
Of course, ladies first. Okay. Final thought is just really take time out and know what you want out of a situation. Know your person. If you truly think this is the love of your life and he thinks you the love of your life, then go for what you know. But do I believe in love at first sight? Probably not. And but am I open to it? Maybe. But I will definitely take care of the work behind it to understand what the difference is between the lusting and the loving. So that's what I think.
Okay.
I love it. First let me say I think that the conversation about like your grandparents, that time frame is another great conversation
Yeah.
to have. Is how people thought in that day and the support that you got from family.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
just a thought for another show.
Yeah, that is.
But to
Yeah.
echo what was already said, I agree. I think that the Bible says slow down and test all things, right? I think that we have to be certain of our decisions and why we make certain decisions that affect the rest of our life. Because if I decide to do something and be 10 toes down, I have to realize that if this is going to be a lifelong thing, I need to make sure that I have prayed about this thing fully. Because I always say, love reflects Christ, not chemistry. I think that a lot of people get caught up in that chemistry thing and they confuse that for what it's not. And I think that if we're not careful, we'll put ourselves sometime in a bad relationship and or marriage based upon a rush decision that we thought in the moment was good for us, but we realized that what it's like. Tamia said, I'm a stranger in my house. But
Yes,
I'll
indeed.
leave it there.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for joining me. I'm gonna close with y'all on here today since we didn't overtime today. Just got good. But thank you all so much for joining me today and talking about, hey, this is just things that us single folks got to think about as we prepare to navigate this single life and this journey and this love life. We got to be open about those conversations. We got to be realistic with ourselves. We got to look at our own moral compass. We got to know what it is that we want and what do we want to give as well. So, yes, I hope you all come back next week and join us for our topic. We're going to be talking about ghosting when Boo doesn't say bye. Ooh, yeah, we're about to get in some feelings next week because yeah, buddy. Yeah, hey, when Boo just decided he gone, we got to talk about some things. So I'll see you all back next week on So Free and Single with Z Podcast. Thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great night.
Good night.